got Mr. Cole Harvey with me today. Cole is the recipient of a recognition, I should say, from Broker Agent Advisor, which is one of the largest groups in America, which recognizes top performance amongst agents and also brokers and leaders like Cole. So super excited. Congratulations, first of all, Cole. That's a major accomplishment.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, Jim.
Of course. Yeah. So we're going to dive in and just learn a little bit more about Cole and the company he's at and kind of your background and philosophy of how you're running the company. So give us a little bit of a backstory, Cole, on how you got to where you're at today.
Well, I started off in commercial sales for most of my 20s, and then like most of us, we were all laid off in the Great Recession around 2008. I had a really close friend who was on my sales team who at the time mentioned that his father owned a real estate brokerage and that he sold homes part-time. And it turned out they were what we now know as a super small family boutique business, but they got me licensed, kind of showed me the ropes, and I was able to make a living kind of through the short sale era, and then on through to REO, and then now into our normal market that we've enjoyed for the last 7 or 8 years or so. I had the same journey as everybody else. By the time my license renewal was up for my sales license, I went for the broker license, got that. And then, over the course of his father retired, I ended up trying out, some of the big box companies, brands like Keller Williams and a few others. And then ultimately I landed with my current partners here at Lifetime. And when our broker, who was fantastic, decided to transition into more of the hotel space, the opportunity rose for me to become the managing broker. And I took it. It's been 5 years in September.
Cole, one of the things everybody's always curious about is how are you attracting agents to come to work for your company? They could go anywhere. Why are they joining your company? Because you guys are growing.
We are, and I think the philosophy behind what we're doing here is we kind of try to create everything that we were looking for ourselves when we were trying out different brokerages and growing as individual agents. And so the number one thing is we've gone really, really deep into training. And, coming from the corporate sales world, we're used to having a step 1, 2, and 3 kind of, I guess, be in the bowl kind of philosophy. And we weren't really finding that elsewhere. So we really spent a lot of time creating like a homegrown university for agents to have as much success in the beginning as they could if they were starting off new. And then for veteran agents to be able to retool maybe their habits and to kind of get back engaged in their business. And then separately from that is our background was in a lot of investment real estate when we were more of a smaller boutique operation, managing our own investments as well as our clients. We've done over 350 fix and flips, I think, and in like 12 years in fill and in development. And so what we like to do is we like to empower our agents to become investors themselves, because so many realtors, as so many realtors sell real estate, but they don't quite connect that they're also in the game, that they have kind of insider information.
Right.
So we always say that cars and toys are fun, but we want our agents to invest in real estate. And I'm very proud that all of our top producers, especially the ones that have been with us from the beginning, are now all also real estate owners and have passive income from real estate. So
that's great.
Yeah.
Because I know that it's kind of like being the cobbler without any shoes on. You would never trust like a stockbroker that didn't buy stocks, or somebody that sold gold. You're like, what? Why aren't you buying the product you're selling? It's so interesting.
Exactly.
Most realtors own a house, but they don't own any investment property. So what a great philosophy, right?
It is. It's kind of like the skinny chef mentality, right? Like
exactly.
We're in this game, and when we're around it so much, and we're also we're the first to find out about opportunities, and so why not for ourselves?
Yeah, but you guys are also, I know I'm talking to you before, Cole, that you guys are also, old school enough where you're encouraging agents to go out and door knock and, make calls and, get aggressive when needed. You're in a highly competitive market right there in Orange County. So I know it's not like it's a sleepy little town there. You got a lot of competition.
And that's true, but I think the fundamentals always work, and the fundamentals work regardless of the market we're in. And Southern California in general, not just Orange County, but Southern California is very, very saturated. But the reality is that there is room for everybody, and there's almost unlimited opportunity for any agent who just wants to do the right things on a daily basis, create relationships, follow up. There's a lot of, sky's the limit.
And you guys are innovating because you guys have launched your own podcast, which I know is a great way to showcase not only the talent in your office, but to talk to other agents in the community and to other people outside the community, and really show the agent body near you, like, hey, we are really striving to help agents. How has that been received? Is it you getting a lot of traction from that?
Yeah, it's been great. I think it's the podcast has been great, not only for from the brokerage standpoint to help get us out in the kind of public mindset, but the collaboration and the agent community that we have just in our industry is fantastic, and we've come to a really great time, I think, in our industry where people, through tools like YouTube or podcasting and in general social media, there's such a wealth of knowledge compared to when I got licensed in '09, and you didn't have like YouTube University, so to speak. You had to rely on you had to rely on agents that were not competitive and were forthright with their knowledge, and there's so many people. We keep coming across agents all over the country who are just, they've had such incredible success, and they're so willing and open to share with other people what works. And, the industry's really shifted to such an awesome kind of like supportive, united kind of vibe that the podcast has been fantastic. So we've connected with, people back east, people all over the country that are just crushing it in all different approaches and in so many different ways. And it's been fantastic. And everyone's knowledge base just grows that way.
I love it. And one of the other things you guys are doing, which I think is really a cool thing, is like your meet and greets. I know because of the investment background that the ownership has and you have, what do those look like? I mean, it's not necessarily a recruiting event per se. It's more of a meet and greet where you're pitching properties to each other. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's absolutely, and that's the main thing. There's no recruiting allowed. We don't, and we don't even sell, to be honest. What we've done is we have a monthly mixer that we host at our office that is for people who are investing at all levels, even if they've never invested before. If they just want to learn, we expect everyone who comes they can share deals they're working on. They can quote unquote, pitch opportunities, but it's not for them to sell their deals. It's to be open with what got them there, the lessons they learned along the way, and it's gone really, really well. We've been doing it. We started it this year. I think actually last night was this last month's meetup, and I think, gosh, we've done it. We've had 7 months worth now, and it grows every month. And
Wow.
it's been great. We've met agents from all over the place. We've met people in the investment space, everything from wholesalers to people that want to get into like apartment syndication, and that's the thing. The public is open to come do it as well. So people that don't know our terminology or don't know what any of that means, they can meet cool people to help educate them, and they can get involved themselves.
Are
Because
you doing it at the office, or are you doing it off site, or what are you doing there?
no, we do it at our office.
Oh,
We,
cool.
we have
Okay.
we do it. We are able to we clear the office out. We have light refreshments, got some wine. It's really cool, and then everyone just talks about the different ways you can play in real estate investment, and it's been really, really cool.
Nice. Nice. And I know you just had like a thought leader event where you did a summit for your community. So, and I think you got a lot of traction out of that. And
Hmm.
you do that every year. So you've had some great speakers in there, I know, and you kind of made a commitment for doing that. One of the
Yeah.
things that I think was interesting, just in talking to you and seeing it, is you didn't directly necessarily recruit. You had some recruiting messages in there, but it wasn't a big recruiting push. It was more just giving valuable content. And then you did end up with what, 10 recruiting appointments, I think, out of it, right? Or something like that.
Yeah, I think we've, to be honest, I think it's pushed closer to the 18, almost 20 at
Wow.
this point. It's yeah, and that's the thing. I think agents are, well, we're all recruited to constantly from other brokerages, even in leadership, we're recruited from other companies. It happens all the time.
Right.
Um, I don't think direct recruiting like that. I don't think creating an event that's a Trojan horse to jam your philosophy into people's way to go. We're happy to share with what we do. In Lifetime, we like to share our vibe, and our attitude at these events, and we like to invite the speakers that resonate with us and that have made an impact on our agents.
Yeah.
And yeah, and certainly we are available if they want to know more.
Mhm.
But I think recruiting works both ways, and it also has to be. We're looking for people that will fit for us as well and be a part
Exactly.
of our philosophy, because it's we in our brokerage we're knowledge first, where we expect collaboration. We expect our top producers to nurture and help our up and comers, and vice versa. We expect them to respect our top producers, and we don't have people covering up their computer screens when you walk by, like some of the places I was at, years and years
Oh,
and
yeah,
years ago.
yeah. I've
You
been
know,
there.
yeah,
So with
I
your
think we all have.
I don't know if you consider yourself a boutique necessarily, because you're not small anymore. You're getting to be pretty good size, but you are definitely you're an independent company. Number one, you're not a franchise, and you're competing in a market where there's major franchises all around you. Um, is there speak to that a little bit? I mean, is that a defining difference that helps you, that you're not a part of a franchise, and that it's, or is it you find that's actually sometimes it works against you, or is it, how do you look at that? How do you approach that?
Well, I mean, that's a big question, I suppose, because there's a few answers to that. For one thing, I guess we did start off as a boutique
Yeah.
brokerage because there was only six of us. So, but I don't think boutique is a bad word per se either. I just think,
Yeah.
I guess for me, it works two ways. Number one, we're growth oriented. We're on a trajectory. We do have a number of agents we want to add every year. We have sales volumes and we have increases every year we're tracking. It's a very important. Our culture is deeply important to us, and we work really hard to keep the feeling and everyone agents experience here the same as it was for us when there were six of us, I guess, is how, although that's impossible to do in practice, but as far as the attitude and how we treat each other and all that kind of stuff, that's really important. What I do notice having come from large franchises myself as a full-time agent, and then talking to agents, in the field that we work with, um, I think that's the advantage we have, is that we are able to give a bit more personal attention in that regard, and I think that's scalable too. By the way, I don't believe that's a size thing. I think that's a culture thing. I think you can, regardless of the size of your operation, you can give everyone the proper attention and opportunity. That's a matter of system. That's not a matter of your size.
Agreed.
So that's kind of where we're coming from. So right now, today we're sitting at about 55 agents, I think, on our roster. And we're still, it feels the same as it felt 6 years ago, which is the most important measure, I think.
That's great. And growing pretty rapidly. So one thing I do know about your company is the diversity of your company, which is absolutely amazing. And talking to you and Tommy, how many languages spoken there? I mean, it's like 20 or something. Is that...
Last time I checked, we were at 26.
26.
We have, I'm only proficient in English myself, but we do have 26 languages here. I have agents who have come from almost every continent, including, I mean, we have agents we have European agents from Africa, Nepal. We have people from all over the place, and that's representative also of where we're from. I mean, California, we're lucky to have a lot of diversity, well, as much of the country, but I also think that what attracts agents to our brokerage, the idea of generational wealth building, the idea of creating, if entrepreneurship is rooted in creating something for yourself ultimately, and if that's the ultimate end is to be able to retire under your own terms at whatever age you want to do, that's universal, I think, for not only everybody, but that's especially universal for people who come to America trying to achieve that kind of goal. You mentioned, our CEO, Tommy, that's a perfect example, right? He came to America with his parents as a child because that's what they wanted to pursue. And this is a continuation of that. So that kind of speaks to our diversity. And I think that's what attracts that type of person to us.
I read a study about immigrants coming to America, and the average immigrant, some are much faster than others, but the average immigrant, from the day they land here, not speaking in any the language, obviously, not having a job, the day they get here, 6 years is the average length of time before they're a homeowner, which is absolutely fascinating and amazing to me, that you can go from 0 to 6 years in a home ownership. It just shows you that the what you're saying is they value home ownership, where they may not have ever had that opportunity in any other country. It's really interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah. It is, and it's true. I mean, I love to say that I have the least interesting story of anybody here. I mean, I was born in Southern California to two parents that had master's degrees. There's nothing more boring than that, and yeah, it's absolutely true. We have, I have about many examples here I could cite of people that came here and owned property, within 36 months of being licensed. It's possible for anybody.
So let's talk just for a second, because you got a dynamic where you've got Tommy and Jamie, owners in the company, and then you're there as well. So you guys are all working kind of in a partnership. What's that dynamic look like? Are you guys meeting every day, every week? How does that management style look?
So from a leadership perspective, we our leadership group, which is Tommy and Jamie. Tommy, they're the owners of our company. I serve as their managing broker, and then we have our operations director, Elaine. We have a weekly leadership meeting every Monday,
Gotcha.
where we track everything from our growth numbers. We call it our scorecard, and that covers everything from our recruitment operations to our daily closing and our new listing volume. Individual agent performance. And then as you mentioned, we also have throughout the year, we have events and different functions we put on that's part of our kind of our drive. So all of that we check in and measure on a weekly basis.
Nice, nice. So, and I do want to touch on this because, I think the importance of having a very simple strategy that you're implementing on is so critical. I know in talking to Tommy, he's always got this, we're trying to recruit one great agent a week, or I think is his mantra, right?
Yeah.
And every time I talk to him, he's like, I'm trying to recruit one great agent a week. And a lot of times you guys are hitting that goal, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And so is that a system where you guys are, is he calling agents? Is it getting to the point where you're just attracting agents now? Is it a combination?
It's a combination. It's a combination for sure. Tommy does have his prospecting time like anybody else. It's an old habit. He was an incredible full-time agent himself at one time.
Yeah.
So he has really good habits. We have our power hour every day where we're on the phones doing our follow-up and reaching out to people. We do have staff that helps us with recruiting also. One of our top producers also splits his time between regarding our diversity. He splits his time between his home here in the U.S. and his home in Africa. And depending on what he's working on, he'll help us with recruiting. He's really great at connecting with people. And so we do outbound recruiting to agents that we think will be a good fit. And we do, as you know, the best agents we hire are always referrals from our own agents, people they either connected with on transactions or people that they met that they knew would be a good fit.
Yeah.
So it's a combination.
Well, Cole, I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a busy guy, and you've gotten this amazing award coming to you, which is incredible. So congratulations again.
Thank you for that.
We were looking forward to sharing this throughout the country. So thank you again. And thanks for taking your time.
No, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
Thanks, Cole.